If you sold your home last year, you may need to pay up at tax time. Here with everything you need to know is lifestyle lawyer Shari O. And good morning, Shari. Thank you so much for being here today.
Sure.
And let's talk about this because dollar-wise, we want to know what the most important tax policy for home sellers is to know.
Hands down, Mike, this is the capital gains exemption. So that allows you to earn up to $250,000 if you're a single filer and $500,000 if you're a married joint filer, and not have to pay tax on that money as long as it's the sale of your primary residence. So it's really a game changer for people.
That sounds good when you're talking about that much cash. And how much exactly does the capital gains, the exemption, how does that work? How does that
Sure. Well, there's two requirements, basically. There's a use requirement and an occupancy requirement. So you have to have used and occupied the home for 2 of the last 5 years as your primary residence in order to take this exemption. Sounds simple, but particularly for newly married folks, I've had several clients, for example, who, the husband or wife sold their last home in order to move into the marital home, took the capital gains exemption on that. A couple years later, they go to sell the marital home to move up, and surprise, they can't take it again. So you need to be careful in some situations like that.
Very useful information. What about someone who can't meet all the requirements?
That's a great question. There actually are some exemptions. So, for example, for someone whose spouse dies, it used to be if your spouse died, you had to sell the home that year. Now you have 2 years to do that. That was a change that was made in 2008. There are some exemptions if you have to sell for health reasons or employment reasons. And another exemption, as a former Navy guy, I happen to love this one.
For sure.
In 2003, there was an exemption for military deployments, because that's not really fair to members of our military if you happen to not be occupying the home because of a deployment. So there are changes over the years. Hopefully one of the changes I'm looking for is to adjust the exemption for inflation, because it's been that 500 and 250 level for quite some time, and as home values go up, it'd be nice to see that exemption be adjusted for inflation.
Sure, definitely something to look at. You just don't want to overlook that exemption because it could mean money in your pocket after all.
Big dollars for retirement. Yeah.
Boiling it all down, that's Shari O. I want to thank you so much for being here. Back